You're ready to rumble.
Are you ready to rumble?
Meme review. Welcome to the Unstoppable Force podcast.
I'm Guy.
I'm Rob, and this week it's the Great Cake Debate. On this episode, we're going to have a muffin versus cupcake debate.
And then we're going to follow it up with both of our top 5 desserts.
And lastly, we're going to have a dessert rant.
Oh, yeah. So let's get right into this cake debate.
Oof.
So, oh no.
Yeah.
What, Rob?
I have something to ask you.
Would you like to ask me?
What is a turkey's favorite dessert?
What is a turkey's favorite dessert, Robert?
Peach gobbler.
Ooh. Gobble, 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 gobble. Okay, so I got one for you.
Okay.
What is a gambler's favorite dessert?
What is it?
Dice cream.
Okay. Oh, ice cream. Okay.
Mix it together and we got dice cream and peach
Gobbler. Oh, you actually came out with one this time.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Stepping it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so for that first segment, we're going to be doing cupcake versus muffin. The way that this is going to work is each of us is going to have an opening statement. Then one of us is going to start with an argument. The other person is going to rebut that argument and follow it up with their own argument. And then the original person will rebut again, and it'll basically go back and forth, just like that. And then at the end, we're going to give our closing statements, and we'll see who wins. Okay, so I guess I'll start with my opening statement. I am the cupcake. My friend here, Robert.
I'm the muffin.
He's a muffin boy.
I'm the muffin man.
Oh, the muffin man. He just hit puberty. Okay, so this is going to be my opening statement. So I'll be honest. I'm not even sure why we're doing this. It's obvious that cupcakes are better. So I guess I just have to prove it again. I mean, last time I checked, muffins don't have 2 separate TV shows dedicated to them, and they definitely don't dominate social media, garnering millions of views. Cupcakes are like a staple of our aesthetic-obsessed society. It is an art form with thousands of people dedicated to its craft. It is like literally the perfect embodiment of deliciousness, beauty, and simplicity. How in the world will a muffin have any chance of beating a cupcake?
Okay, well, if you saw a muffin sitting on the table, you would know immediately that it's a muffin. But if you saw a cupcake sitting on the table, you would not recognize it unless there was frosting on it. In fact, you might mistake it for a muffin. Clearly, muffins are superior to cupcakes because they do not need to be propped up by adding pure sugar to their tops. Okay? Muffins have everything packed into one. Nothing needs to be added to the muffin. Just by looking at a muffin, you can tell what kind of muffin it is without taking off the wrapper. You only know what flavor the frosting is unless you remove the wrapper, and you cannot tell if it's vanilla or chocolate cake. Even the frosting is dishonest, with unnatural colors like neon pink and blue that turn out to only be vanilla. Just like those who post on social media, the cupcakes might look pretty, but they lack the personality uniqueness that they try to show.
Ooh, okay, well, I disagree on most of what you just said, but we'll get into it. Honestly, cupcakes, they're literally like miniature cakes, man. Okay? Like, everyone loves cake. It's a miniature cake. They are the embodiment of cake in a bite-sized form. It's just like one person, one cupcake. It's just the perfect ratio. And it's literally just like a personal experience. A cake experience is unlike any other experience you can have. But, I mean, like, what about muffins? Muffins are like more like miniature loaves of bread. They're with some sugar just packed in. And eating a loaf of bread in a bite-sized form is not something that sounds all that great. The whole point of bread is to make sandwiches where the flavor is everything but the bread. The bread's just supposed to hold it together. Why would anyone want to eat just bread? It's like not even considered a dessert. Muffins aren't a dessert. They're breakfast food.
Okay, well, I do agree with you that cupcakes are little cakes. In fact, they're just wannabe cakes. They're mimicking something that they are not. Okay, muffins stand alone. They are confident to be themselves. If a cupcake is enlarged, it just becomes a cake. If a muffin is enlarged, it's still a muffin. Have you ever heard of a blueberry bread. Have you ever heard of chocolate chip bread? No, these are all muffins. If it was big, it would still be a muffin. Okay, everything that you need is within the muffin. All right, there's so many different types of muffins. You have apple cinnamon, banana nut, blueberry, chocolate chip, corn muffin, coffee muffin. The list goes on. With the cupcake, all you get is vanilla or chocolate, and then it's what you put on top and flavor the top and add things that are have to make the identity of the cupcake. A muffin is just itself.
Sorry, newsflash here, but cupcakes aren't just chocolate and vanilla. And muffins definitely have way less options when it comes to flavors. Okay? Uh Basically, you already said it. A cupcake's a small version of cake. I said it too. Guess what? How many flavors of cake have you seen? There's literally unlimited flavors of cake, okay? There's vanilla, there's chocolate, there's lemon, there's buttercream, there's carrot, red velvet, banana, cinnamon, angel food, sponge, pound, marble, and that's not even including the icing, okay?
That's because you have to include the icing. Okay. If you were to take the icing off, people like that better than a piece of plain cake that has no frosting on it. If you were to cut the top of a muffin off, you get a muffin top. People buy the muffin tops without buying muffins. Okay, they've the whole part in that is on the muffin is already part of it. You don't need something separate to make the muffin better. It's already the best part is in the muffin.
I agree with you about the icing thing, but the thing is that a cupcake, in my opinion, is not a cupcake without icing, so of course it's gonna have icing on it. In fact, that's like one of the most important parts of a cupcake because it's what makes it different than the muffin. It's the key component. Not to mention the fact that it's not icing just on top of a cupcake, but you can fill a cupcake with icing as its filling. And then the flavors of icing are separate from the flavors of the actual cake itself, creating two different mixing flavors that combine together to make a much more unique experience.
Well, see, this is where you're wrong because plenty and plenty of people eat cupcakes without frosting. A cupcake is not defined by the frosting. It's just a cupcake. You put the cake in a cup and you make it. That's a cupcake. What makes it better is the frosting. So if you take the frosting away, it's just lame duck, nothing. Okay, injecting it just makes less cake and more frosting, more sugar that you're pretending to be good. Meanwhile, you need to be propped up on some artificial pure sugar that muffins don't need to. Muffins have everything baked in. You have your blueberries in there. There's nothing on top injected. It's baked within.
You're
It's
just
all part of the
jealous.
particles.
You're just jealous, bro, because you don't get to have icing. Because the second you put icing on a muffin, it's just a cupcake. And on top of that, the icing is absolutely crucial to the cupcake. If you look online, if you go anywhere and you look up cupcake and you type it into Google, you're gonna see pictures of cupcakes with icing on them because icing is a key component. Not to mention the fact that it's part of the aesthetic of the cupcake. It's what adds one extra layer of diversity and variance that allows a chef or a master baker to add elements and sprinkles on top, little pieces of cookies, anything that they want. On top of that, muffins are ugly. They're just so ugly. They're heavy, they're dense, and they only come in one color, brown, and they're usually lopsided and lumpy. I mean, they can't even stay in their wrappers, and they form over the edge like an looking like an obese person at a beach wearing a swimsuit's way too tight. Why would you want to eat something that looks like that?
You ever heard of don't judge a book by its cover? Okay, because this is what you're doing here. You're saying, oh, the cupcake is so amazing. Look at all these pretty colors, do things, and so artistic. But once you bite into it, like I said, you get plain ass vanilla frosting on there. When you have a muffin, it might not look too great on top, but once you bite into it, it's amazing. It's so good and everything packed inside. You don't need to look at a muffin and say, oh, that's a beautiful muffin. It's all about eating it, enjoying it, actually the way it tastes. Okay, because cupcakes are just pure sugar when you taste them. That's it. All you taste is frosting heavy flavors.
Um, I'm pretty sure that cupcakes also have nuts and other things in them, like fruit and so on and so forth. Not to mention, not just in it, you can actually put fruit on top of it. You can literally, on top of the icing, put nuts, put fruits, put sprinkles, things like that. And you can put it into the cakes too. Ever heard of carrot cake? I mentioned it earlier. It's putting a vegetable into a cake. You can put fruit into a cake too. You can fill it up and make it even better. But then on the other side, muffins, they're just like kind of desperate. You guys will put anything in muffins.
Okay,
You'll
and
put bacon in muffins. You'll put like seeds and oats and grains in there. You'll put like weird healthy things. I'm not here for healthy. I'm here for taste. And I'm here for beauty, okay?
okay, you can't say that. Oh, you're desperate to put anything in a muffin when you just said before that there's unlimited possibilities of putting things in the cakes and cupcakes.
It's not desperate though.
Are you kidding me? Yes, tell me you haven't seen like a chicken on a cupcake, okay? Or like you said, bacon has definitely been on a cupcake. Don't tell me it's not been on a cupcake. All right, but let's. Actually have a question for you, okay? Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? Do you know the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane? Because you do. It's me. I'm the Muffin Man, okay? Because all that cupcakes have are pat a cake. Pat a cake. Oh, wait. That's a cake. There's nothing about cupcakes in a nursery rhyme, okay? It's all about cakes. It's the same thing that the cupcakes that want to be. They want to be the cakes. They have nothing to prove themselves. They're trying to just be something that they're not.
I'm going to close with this, guys. There's a reason why the cupcake has always reigned supreme, okay? Don't listen to this
But
absurdity,
it's okay. I'm not
this
done, so.
lie. Okay, it has more options with the addition of both icing on the top and inside the cupcake. Being cake, it comes in hundreds of flavors. Its light texture and plain form makes it perfect as a canvas for people to decorate it with icing, sprinkles, cookies, crumbs, fruits, nuts, beautiful cake experiences that are wholly unique. Okay, at the end of the day, the cupcake is like a queen, and the muffin is like a serf. Beauty, elegance, and variance against hardiness, ugliness, and desperation. I rest my point.
Really. So desperate that. Okay. You know Gingy from Shrek? The little gingerbread man? His dad is the Muffin Man. Okay. The Muffin Man is in Shrek. That means he's canon in Shrek. Do you have a movie that is a cupcake is in? Okay. Not only that, there are official state muffins. Okay. There's the corn muffin is the official state muffin of Massachusetts. The blueberry muffin is the official state muffin of Minnesota, and the apple muffin is the official state muffin of New York. Okay. If
Those
there was
muffins
no
are the official state muffins.
yes, there's no
There's
official.
only there could only be.
Is there a single state cupcake? No, there's no single state cupcake. Okay, whole states are making official things for them. Okay, if people didn't like muffins as much as whole states,
It's not
how
whether or
can you
not
say?
people like muffins, it's whether or not cupcakes are
I mean,
better.
proof is in the pudding. It's actually in the muffin and the state muffins. Okay, you can't just. Let's just go back to this. You can't judge a book by its cover. It's all about what's inside, not what you make it look to be. You can do your hair, put makeup on a fucking pig, it'll still be a pig. Okay.
Okay, so that wraps it up for that segment. Let us know what you guys think. Right now we're kind of tied.
Muffins are better.
I said that I won, and he said that he won. So we need somebody to be a tiebreaker here, okay? Or else we're probably just going to collapse into chaos over cupcakes and muffins. Hopefully, after this, one of us gets to go home. Um,
Just keep commenting Muffin Man. And to prove to him who's the real winner here.
put Cupcake Boss in your comment if you're for cupcakes, okay? Because cupcakes are boss.
I'm the man.
Okay, so for our second segment, we wanted to talk to you guys about our personal top 5 favorite desserts. Since I started with my opening statement in the first segment, why don't you go ahead and tell us what your 5th favorite dessert is, Rob?
My 5th favorite dessert is strawberry shortcake. Because
Okay.
I really like the sweetness of the strawberries. And it's almost like you can say like, oh, I'm having fruit in my dessert.
I'll be honest, I don't think I've actually really had real strawberry shortcake, like really good strawberry shortcake before.
Actually, I had it the other day. Actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
At work, because we had there was a birthday, so they bring in cake.
And the person just happened to love strawberry shortcake specifically?
Um, it was one of 2 cakes that was brought in, so they probably liked it.
Do like at your work, do you guys like ask which cakes like somebody
Yeah.
likes, or do you
you-
like come in with like a couple?
Usually they ask. I've been asked. Well, it's funny. For my birthday, brought in half chocolate, half vanilla cake, and then they ask what kind of cake do I like afterwards.
I mean, it's not a bad strategy. You could kind of just hand them the cake, and if they go for the chocolate side, next time chocolate. If they go for
Yeah,
the vanilla
exactly.
side, next time vanilla. hmm
So, what about your gift?
My fifth is chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream.
Okay. Why that specific type of ice cream?
I feel like there's like a nostalgia to it. I'll be honest, I'm a bit of a plain guy when it comes to food. I don't like nuts much. I don't like it when there's just too much going on in like anything pretty much, including ice cream. So it's kind of like vanilla was always my favorite flavor. It's still vanilla, but then there's like a little extra. There's like the chocolate chips in there, and it's not like just like chocolate chips from like a chocolate chip cookie. It's like like the square ones that are like those are
Oh, the
those are,
chunks.
yeah, like the chunks.
Mm-hmm.
Those are so good in ice cream. And then throw in like the chocolate chip cookie dough, and then, I mean, I can't count the amount of cookie dough I've eaten in my
Oh yeah,
lifetime. It's so good.
I love cookies.
So just kind of mixed two amazing things together, and it, like, cemented itself as my favorite, like, grocery store ice cream that we would ever get.
Yeah. Okay. Get that. So for my fourth favorite dessert, I have chocolate mousse cake. And I put it in because I like chocolate cake, but I like chocolate mousse cake because it's way lighter and it and you can eat more of it basically. But I just chocolate mousse tastes so good. It's different than frosting. It's not as sugary and
It's kind of
sweet.
like lighter,
Yeah,
and it's not as sugar focused often. It's more
exactly.
like of whatever type of mousse flavor it is. Um, my girlfriend makes phenomenal like chocolate mousse, just straight up like in a glass, and that is so good. Add cake to that, and I totally agree with you. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
for sure. My next is donuts. So this one's maybe a little. My number one is gonna be controversial as well, slightly. But my number four, donuts. You could argue it's not really a dessert. It's kind of like something you eat at breakfast, but it's still covered in sugar, and I love donuts, especially like not like
Yeah,
strawberry filled donuts, but like strawberry icing donuts.
mm-hmm. I like those. Those are probably my favorite donut. Oh, that or Boston cream.
Boston creams are so good too.
Oh hell yeah.
I feel like sometimes they overfill it though, and it can kind of like be much.
I think it's okay. I'd rather that than underfill it. You ever have
Yeah.
jelly donut that is a quarter of it is a little dot in it, and you cut it in half. One half doesn't have any jelly on the inside.
Like it doesn't even cross
Yeah,
over the
yeah,
line.
yeah.
By the way, out of curiosity, since we're on the topic, what do you like better? Do you like Dunkin' Donuts better or Boston cream? Or not Boston cream, Krispy Kreme.
I like Dunkin' only because of the different donuts. Like Krispy Kreme is fine if you want just a glazed plain donut, and glazed plain donuts are okay. They're not strawberry
I guess they kind of
frosted
do like the
or chocolate.
glaze better,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not the frosting
Yeah, and other stuff.
options.
Yeah. Well, if you get a fresh Dunkin' Donuts donut, it's so good. You have to go like in the morning, basically. Otherwise, if you wait too long, yeah, if it's stale, it's bad. But any stale donut is bad.
Yeah. I've always been like pretty down the center too, because it's like a Krispy Kreme donut is like has a different experience than Dunkin' Donut.
Yeah.
Like, cause the glaze itself, it's usually like a little smaller. It's a bit more like a kind of like a poppiness to it, like when you bite into it, just kind of pops off.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Dunkin' Donut will kind of like rip off
Hmm.
slowly.
Yeah, it's like doughier.
Yeah.
And
So
but there's Cabela's I've been to. There's this little like cart outside. They have these apple cinnamon donuts, and if you have any other apple cinnamon donuts, other place, and it's like they're like small and they're cinnamon, and it's so damn good, especially if they're warm, because they're usually like made like as you're just there.
if it's made in front of you, it doesn't even matter at that point. It's gonna
That's
be
true.
better than
Yeah.
anything else. I actually, when we went on vacation one time, in the South where there's more Krispy Kreme places,
Yeah.
they actually had like a conveyor belt where they were like making them on the conveyor belt in front of you, and then they would come out of the conveyor belt in a box for you to
Oh,
just pick up and come out with, and it was just fresh,
that's amazing.
perfectly fresh.
Oh my God.
So what's your
Number three,
Yep.
cannoli.
nice?
Coming from like a Italian family, always
Is that one or two or multiple? How does that work?
cannolis, multiple
Okay.
cannolis. In America, people say cannolis, but it's cannoli. But it doesn't matter. Um, I mean, just the plain cannoli. If it has chocolate chips, that's good too. But I don't generally like a lot of weird flavors. There's a really good place in Boston that has really good like the cannolis are big and they have like any type of different. They have like a amaretto, like cannoli. They have like some coconut. They have like all these random flavors cannolis and they're pretty good. But nothing beats just a plain.
Just like a high quality cream,
Yeah,
like where the
yeah. The
cream is the
creams are.
focus.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've actually I think I've like had a bite of a cannoli before, but once again, I have not really had a cannoli. And I'm Italian, so it feels almost slightly sacrilegious. But at the same time, I think when I did originally try it, I didn't like it that much. It was just like it's a lot of cream.
Yeah,
So I guess if you're not into that like very creamy experience, but it also there's something like visual about it that can throw me off, where like the cream looks very solid,
yeah.
but it's not that solid.
Well,
Is it?
it's like kind of frosting esque as the texture, but it's not as sweet and sugary. It's not that as pasty either, probably, but it kind of look. I mean, it looks like that kind of is. It's not really that.
Probably is also a big difference between like a bad cannoli and like a really good
Yeah.
cannoli. That's
Oh
probably
yeah.
like a.
Oh, so what was your
My next one is cheesecake. So I didn't really specify what type of cheesecake. I guess maybe like a New York cheesecake might be up there.
what's it,
Um,
so what's like from New York or is that like a
it's like it's I think it's based on like the cheeses that go into it, like what percentage of it is like ricotta or like if it's cream cheese
right?
or stuff like that. I didn't want to like say specifically though, because honestly, like any cheesecake, I'm down for.
Yeah. Well, do you have a preference on like chocolate swirl or like fruit on top or not?
I'm not a big fruit dessert person that much. I tend to like eat them separately. Like I might eat the fruit that came on the cheesecake, but I'm gonna do it like after I eat the cheesecake, or I'm gonna like stop eating the cheesecake and then eat the fruit by itself, but not really like combine the two
Enough force,
much.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I think like the one of the biggest components too for cheesecake is the crust being like just crispy, like just hard enough that it's like you have to kind of cut through it, but then just
I don't
gooey enough to like fall apart.
I don't like it when it's too cinnamony. I think when it overpowers, if it overpowers the cheesecake, the cheese part of it, because like that for me is the focus is the cheese. Like honestly, it doesn't really have to have like a crust entirely.
I love the crust.
It's good, but
It's a
I'm
big part
like
for me. I think like I'm like a big like I'm like I said I'm kind of boring with my flavors and tastes and stuff. So like even with like chips and dip, I like a small amount of dip for my chip. So I'm very much like I like that base. I like that potatoes with my steak kind of thing. Like it's the opposite of the savory and the sweet. It's like the kind of like anti taste to like balance it out, but it has its own separate taste as well. If that makes sense.
yeah. I mean, I just use these things like so the crust is like the vessel that holds the cake. So it's like
Yeah.
there, but I can take it or leave it, or like chips, the vessel for the dip. You fill up the chip, but like underneath it, it's like
I just
okay.
love the vessel. What's your number two?
My number two is tiramisu,
Tiramisu.
more Italian stuff, but a really really good tiramisu is just so like soft and air. Like the cream is airy, the coffee in it soaks it up, and just the cake when it gets moist, like that's kind of what like the coffee makes it more moist than just a plain cake. And I like coffee, and why not put them together into a cake? And when it's good, like I had this really good tiramisu like last week, and oh, it was in heaven. It was so damn good. I
This
want
last
to so
week
much.
sounds great for you, man. You got strawberry shortcake in there, now
It's
tiramisu.
too much cake.
We got
Yeah,
to
my
get you
top
some
cakes.
cannolis and
I mean, I
some.
had cannolis last night.
Oh, there we go.
So I could keep.
Hmm. He knows his favorites. Is just lining up and like throughout
Oh my
throughout your
god.
week.
Yeah, a really good week, I guess.
My next is chocolate cake. So you already mentioned chocolate mousse cake. I've kind of followed the same path as the cheesecake, where it's like I like a lot of different types of chocolate cake, so I don't want to just dial it into one. But the mousse cake is definitely like in the top like tiers of chocolate cake for
Right.
me.
Okay.
But I definitely love like a very fudgy chocolate cake too, and like sometimes when they add like crumbled like almost like like crumbs, like like those
Oh,
like crunchy crumbs
like
and like
from ice cream cake?
yeah, kind of like from ice cream cake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it just works so much better in like the actual chocolate cake where you like put it on top of the frosting and when you bite
Uh-huh.
in and it's like there's the
Yeah.
frosting that's smooth and then that crunch of the crumbles.
I mean,
There's just so many types of chocolate cake that
for
are
like
so
basically
good.
like a forbidden chocolate or like death by chocolate cake. It's those I like those a lot, but I feel like I need like a gallon of milk next to me if I'm gonna eat like just one
Milk is
slice. You just like
necessary
take
for
a
chocolate
bite.
cake
You
for
need to
sure.
like drink like a glass of milk with each bite. It's when it's so like dense like that.
That's how chocolate cake is like meant to be eaten though. Like even mousse cake, it's just drinking that milk with it is just makes the entire experience so much better.
Yeah, but I think you don't need as much with mousse. I think the mousse is light enough.
That's yeah, I could say that. One other type of chocolate cake I almost forgot about that I have to rank up there too, and possibly even my favorite type subgenre of chocolate cake here, is like the lava cakes.
Those are good.
Like where the inside is just so gooey.
Yeah.
And then they have like a big like they add the ice cream with it
Oh yeah.
and
Well,
you're
yeah, it
eating
just
ice
melts.
cream
Yeah.
in oh man, that is like the best chocolate cake. Butcher's second place. Oh no, first
First
place.
place.
Wait,
Number
wait, wait,
one.
we gotta do a drum roll. Okay.
God, please stop.
For the number one pick for Robert.
Apple pie with vanilla ice cream.
Woo.
Kind of plain, but and it's like classic American apple pie. But honestly, I like any sub genre of apple pie. It could be apple crisp or apple Dutch, whatever it is. If there's warm apple and there's a crust on it, I like it. But it has to have vanilla ice cream. If you put like chocolate ice cream in it, it's not the same. It's you need that vanilla ice cream. Even when you don't have ice cream, that vanilla ice cream, it kind of feels like it's missing something. Like you can try to substitute in a glass of milk with it, but it's not the same.
It's kind of like that lava cake where you get like you need something to match that heat with something cool and sweet. And I feel like with the pie, it's like this really nice balance if you like get like a freshly out of the oven pie. But how do you feel if it's like the next day and it's already cooled down and it doesn't have that warmness to it? Does it still need the ice cream, or is it like
Well,
you can't even eat the pie? You have to like throw it in the microwave
yeah, you gotta warm it up.
and then go get the
And
ice
then you
cream.
get the ice cream,
Okay,
yeah. Yes, like
that
if you
sounds
get it
good.
from a store and you have it there, you warm it up like in the microwave.
I always microwave my apple pie
Oh, absolutely.
because the microwave actually sometimes even makes it better because it'll like kind of can caramelize the center even more than it was
And
before.
the good thing about the microwave is sometimes you like, oh, my the outside's cold, inside's hot. Like, but with pie, like that's kind of what you want. You want the inside of the apples and stuff to be really warm, and like the crust is not that warm. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's just like holding it in.
Did you actually know this was something fascinating I learned about microwaves as like a slight tangent, but they are significantly more effective and almost basically only effective on liquids.
Really.
Yeah, they're like way more effective.
That's why I think you have to rotate them around because in the microwave it has the specific directions, like the line. Basically, if you drew lines from like the way it was radiated, it's gonna stay in one spot. It doesn't like bounce around; it just goes in one spot. So that's why if you
Oh,
turn
that's why
around
the
the
thing
microwave,
spins.
so the
Hmm.
different parts of that food gets hit in intersects with those points within the microwave.
Microwave facts.
All right, I'm not giving you a drum roll.
Wow. Now I'm just sad. Should I just quit? Should I just walk away, guys?
I mean, your number one's not as good as mine, but
Wow. Okay, so my number one is a cinnamon roll.
wow.
So mean. So mean. Okay, so I said this was controversial too for the same reason donuts are, is that they're a bit of a breakfast food, but fuck you. I like them all day. Doesn't matter if it's the beginning of the day or the end of the day, middle of the night, you name it. Cinnamon rolls don't have a time restraint, okay? Cinnamon rolls are amazing.
The best part about cinnamon rolls is the way they smell, and that's about it. You go to the mall, smell cinnamon rolls, and when you're walking through the mall, you're like, "Damn, I should get some." But guess what? You never do.
The reason why I like cinnamon rolls so much, honestly, is like if you make them right, they're very fluffy. They're very like kind of like crunchy on the outside, and then as you go to that center, you get that like creamy, gooey, like cinnamon, sugar kind of like mix up there. And the one thing I feel like a lot of people get wrong though is icing. I feel like the icing can like make or break.
Isn't it like one of those toaster strudel type icing? That was
Well,
supposed to be.
I mean, it depends on where you go. Sometimes there's like cream cheese icings, which I don't mind if it's done like very well, but there is like this weird like additional taste whenever it's a cream cheese icing that I just don't feel works as well with a cinnamon roll. Um, but like sometimes it's not a question of whether the icing is good or not. That's still important, but it's also like how much icing. Like sometimes they can be like a little stingy on the icing, sometimes a little too much, sometimes it's like a little too thin.
Right.
Icing can like kind of
Yeah.
just thin out
Yeah.
super quick.
Become liquidy maybe, or just.
So like my favorite ones specifically are the ones that we make in our family every Christmas. We make like specifically for Christmas morning cinnamon rolls.
Might have to change my mind. Bring me some.
Definitely. Sometimes they don't rise though very well.
Oh, that's funny. Like Jesus.
What like Jesus? Okay.
Christmas. But never mind.
Uh-huh.
So, I think that hits our top
Those
five.
are our top fives, yeah.
Let us know what your top 5 is and why Guy is wrong about his.
There's no one wrong about anyone's top fives. This is entirely subjective. So tell
Absolutely.
us what you guys like best, what your top fives are. Okay, so let's move on to our next segment. So the next segment is going to be dessert rants. The way this is going to work is that each of us are going to be taking turns talking about things that we find very frustrating related to desserts. Go ahead, Rob.
All right. Whose idea was it to remove strawberries from strawberry shortcake? There better be real strawberries not only on top of the cake but also inside. None of the fake jelly preserves that are too sweet and are all artificial flavor. I don't want to be eating PB&J for dessert.
Who invented flourless chocolate cakes? It's like taking the best part of the cake, the fluffiness, out and leaving a heaping pile of dense concentrated chocolate. If that's what I wanted, I'd just go out and get like fudge or eat some mousse. Why defile the name of cake?
I absolutely hate when there's a coworker's birthday, but they are gluten free. Now everybody has to eat gluten free cake because otherwise no one wants to seem like the bad guy and make it awkward for the birthday person if they have to eat the cake alone. No one wants to be alone on their birthday.
And sorry, Jello is not a dessert. It's an awesome snack. It's great when you've got a sore throat. But there's nothing more white trash than to order Jello for dessert at a restaurant or any other public place.
Cupcakes need icing. Icing makes a cupcake a cupcake. If I'm at a party and there's no frosting on the cupcakes, there better be a tub of frosting nearby. If there's no frosting, I might as well be eating a muffin. Also, if I'm not the host, why am I putting frosting on my own cupcakes?
Why does every oatmeal cookie have to have raisins in it? Is it a law or something that we can't have perfectly good oatmeal cookies? Why ruin them with raisins? Who asked for raisins? Raisins are awful. They're the embodiment of our everyday struggle towards the slow and withering descent of death.
No, Mom. Fruit is not dessert. Fruit is only a pre-dessert or a healthy snack. The only time fruit and dessert should be in the same sentence is if the fruit is an ingredient in the dessert.
I can eat as much dessert as I want. How dare you criticize me for eating a second slice, Mom? I know I've gained a bit of weight, okay? You don't have to constantly remind me. And yeah, I know I'm supposed to be on a diet, but today's my cheat day, and if I want to eat my sorrows away, I damn will. And don't give me any of those looks from across the room.
Ben & Jerry's annoys the crap out of me. You cannot find plain vanilla at Ben & Jerry's. There's always only one tub left in the back of the store that they have to call the manager for. Otherwise, you have to get some triple salted, double caramel, upside down chocolate dip nut cream. They just put a bunch of crap in their ice cream just to make it $10.13 for a cup.
Anyone who buys a screen printed cake has got to be a masochist. Why else would you subject yourself to eating a cake covered in a flaky, dry piece of sugar paper? It's as if the cake formed a hardened skin from being left in a damp basement for a week, not to mention the fact that you're basically eating somebody else's face and body. So a masochist and a cannibal?
What's wrong with going to a restaurant and just ordering dessert? It's already hard enough to find a dessert good enough to order. They always add random nuts, coconut, or even fry it. And when I want to go in and just get dessert, why does everyone have to stare? Just let me eat my pie in peace.
And why can't I eat dessert for breakfast or lunch or dinner? Who decided we have to eat dessert after dinner at night? It's not even better for you. Why would you want to go to sleep with tons of sugar coursing through your body? It's absurd to enforce this social restriction for any longer. I encourage you to stand with me against our oppressors and demand that dessert be served all day.
Why do adults not tell kids how good cheesecake is? It always seemed like it was just like eating cheese. No, I don't want to eat cheese for dessert. And once you try it, it's the best thing you've ever had. It's like a secret that adults keep to themselves. Let everyone in on the secret.
Why, in the name of all that is sacred, would you put gold on desserts? Not fake gold, but real 100% gold. Gold that you are going to shit out in a day. Do you feel more special because you're rich and you eat shit your body can't process? It doesn't even have taste. Its only purpose is to show off how much money you waste on useless trash meant to make you seem cooler by being a disconnected upper class fucktard.
Why do people ask me why I want to eat ice cream in the winter? If I want to eat ice cream, I will. Do not shame me just because you are too cold to enjoy ice cream. Ice cream makes me happy.
Is it just me? Or does every single children's birthday party always have ice cream cake? Why ice cream cake? Ice cream cake isn't even a cake. It can't be because it's not baked. It's frozen. You can't even bite into it without freezing your teeth off. Plus, it's never even good ice cream, and it only ever has chocolate and vanilla. And don't even get me started on how it melts in the first 15 minutes of being out. You ever eat ice cream cake that's been left out after a party? Hell no. You throw that shit in the garbage where it belongs.
Okay. For your information, cannolo is singular, cannoli is plural. Saying cannolis makes no sense. We don't add another S after things that are already plural. If you're going to appropriate Italian culture, then appropriate it correctly. That felt good to get that out.
Well, that about wraps up our therapy session for the week. Whew.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. It was exciting, I think.
It was a little different than previous ones, which I thought was fun.
Yeah.
It was a little more structured, but also I think we did some new, cool, interesting, like fun ways of doing the podcast.
Yeah. If you have any ideas on any other things that we should pit against each other in a versus,
Yep.
or any sort of rants that bug you that we can
anything that
express.
really annoys you about dessert, let us know, because there is a lot of things to be annoyed about. Okay, so yeah, you just like, comment, subscribe, let us know what you guys think. Follow us on social media. Our Instagram is Unstoppable Force Podcast, and our Twitter is UForcePod. And we'll catch you guys next Wednesday.
Yeah.
And until then, stay unstoppable.